So the epigraph is says, "Underestimate me. That'll be fun." It's an anonymous origin. This is the prologue. My mother was a monster. Her beauty turned men into stone, if you believe the myth. In truth, she was born into slavery, owned by a cruel woman who considered herself a goddess. As a joke, she bestowed the title of priestess onto my mother, whose duties were to clean the house, a sizable mansion, and attend to her mistress's needs. My mother's incredible beauty turned the heads of men who desired her to themselves. She was sought after by many men. Her mistress, jealous of this attention, deprived my mother of pleasure. She was to remain chaste and celibate for life. As a domestic prisoner, fearing the wrath of her owner, she shunned the advances of men, that is, until she was raped by a sea captain, her mistress's uncle. Blamed for the rape, for seducing him, my mother was set free as her punishment. Her hair was shorn, her scalp shaved. She was cursed by her mistress and banished from the mansion, forced to enter the outside world completely naked. Adding insult to injury, she discovered later she was pregnant with me. I don't blame her for becoming a monster. With one look, she would turn men into stone. Not a metaphor. She did. Because of this power, she was beheaded. Upon her decapitation, did twin sons, a winged horse and boar, fly out of her body? Was her head then placed on a shield to destroy enemies with her deadly gaze during battles? The latter two are metaphors, untruths. I was her only true son. Let me begin again. Mother did have stunning hair. This is true. It grew back in sweeping black coils that resembled writhing snakes. Men became petrified by her beauty. I witnessed this myself when grew old enough to know better. When she became angry at me for some misdeed, I avoided eye contact. Men who dated her, especially those who were racist or approached her with bravado or arrogance, learned this devastating lesson: not to look. Too late. Did I love my mother? I did. She was pretty, also frightening, not always a monster. She had tended bar for a living. It is fallacy that simply looking at my mother turned the living into stone. She would warn first, "Be careful how you look at me." It would always be men who didn't heed her warning. Growing up, I witnessed these stone men who could not believe their fate. Whenever it happened at home, my task was to guide these catatonic zombies out the front door. When she was working the bar, pouring drinks, everyone presumed the paralysis was alcohol related. Often I would be seated at a table, sipping on a soft drink, and she would look my way and give me a sly wink. Her demise was caused by men who spread rumors she was evil and a misanthropist. Not true. She had male friends who were good, who trusted her, and women who were attracted to her strength and ability to ward off the toxic masculinity. Survivors of sexual assaults even wore tattoos resembling my mother with wild snakes for hair. Her beheading escalated her fame, turning her into a legend. The cause of my mother's death I will explain, but first allow me to indulge in the telling of my story. I am a freak of nature. I had no idea what that meant until my mother was beheaded. She had always protected me from the truth. I was, what is the current term? Homeschooled. Mother taught me all I know. She did not prepare me for the cruelty of this world, how people would judge me as being abnormal, born an hermaphrodite. That I was both male and female seemed an important discovery once I understood the difference. As an only child, isolated from kids my age, I never questioned my sexuality, a term that went beyond my years of understanding. Mother dressed me as a boy and had always called me her son. Her murder happened around the time of my puberty. Imagine my shock when told my mother was dead. I was then abducted into social services as an orphan and placed into the foster care system. The monthly bleedings meant I was dying too. The examinations only made my pain worse to realize I was a medical curiosity. I became suicidal when my body rebelled against me and grew breasts. I was mortified by these changes. I was teased and tormented by this uncertainty about whether I was a boy or a girl. I am a mix of several diversities. As one who is both black and white, I have been called many names, but no word or label could define me. Mother told me I was a demigod, God, given my birth from the rape of a powerful man I never knew or cared to know. Powers would come to me. and they have. I can read minds. It is one of my unique gifts, not like Tiresias, the blind prophet, gifted with clairvoyance, who had the ability to see into the future. He too had been turned into a woman after being attacked by mating snakes, transformed from male to female. That is not my fate. I am not blind. I have vision. Also, I inherited my mother's ravishing looks and raven hair cascading from my head like writhing snakes.